All right, it's time for another unboxing, and today just got this in 2-3 days earlier than it was supposed to be. It's Friday, it's supposed to come in Monday. Glad I was able to slip in just before the weekend. And this is the new Serica GMT, the 8315. GMT, I don't know how to pronounce it properly, but it's Chronometre. It's basically a chronometer grade movement. And so let's get right into it. Comes in this box. Well, obviously wrapped up more. Little note here. Thank you sincerely. So this result many years of passion and work. Find its way into your life. Carry all countless memories that are yet to be created. I think they misspelled this part. Carry. C-A-R. One more R. And thank you note, I guess. Chronometre. Chronometre. Sorry, it's not my language, but I try my best to pronounce it. So if you know how to pronounce it, let me know. Anyways, here's passionate work. Yeah. Tell you about a single block of two-tone ceramic. Never seen before. AM/PM rotating bezel. We can also tell you about the design, water resistant, and the COSE certification. More specs to focus on beauty. This work. Right. And comes with of course, this cost. So it has the certificate and the results, which you should basically expect. I've never really paid that close attention to all these things, so I'm not. I guess these are all the different positions. So briefly going over this. I guess if the numbers are pretty low, that should mean that the deviation should be pretty stable, right? I mean, right? Wouldn't be that high. So looks like the most of them -1, 2, 3. Maybe up here it goes up to 5 or 6 or so. But for the most part, it looks pretty tight. That's why I'm reading it real quickly. And it's funny, they just put in 2 of these flat peanuts to help cushion it. I don't even know why they bothered. There you go. And let's see. Let's just move this out of the way. To the side here. And this is a different box than the last one I have from the 5303. I believe the last one was either black or dark blue. I don't remember it being brown. Could be wrong. It's been a while since I looked at it, but I'm pretty sure it's black or dark blue. And comes in this case. It's kind of like I don't think it's real leather, but it looks fancy. It's kind of like a jewelry case, like something that you would have like a necklace or something in here, right? And here we go. Bam. International warranty. Just follow that to, I guess, register. Comes with a tag. It's actually kind of neat. And here we go. There's the watch. See, it's running already. Should be because I've kind of moved the box around since I got it, but I did actually open it earlier to show my friend because he helped me collect it. But other than that, it's basically a fresh unboxing. But anyways, here we go. Let's just zoom into it for a second. Nice. And yes, you can configure this when you buy it to have the crown on the 9 o'clock or traditionally at the 3. I chose to have it destro style on the left. It's a quick story. I mean, when this first was released, I thought it was pretty cool. A very unusual way to represent a GMT in Serica's own unique styling. And a lot of the case, at least, and probably the crown and stuff, and much of the dial is very much related to the 5303, the diver that came just before this one, right? Before this one. And you can see here, both 39 millimeters. But yeah, I was debating whether I even wanted to get this because this is not inexpensive. But yeah, at first I thought, I'll probably hold off because this is pretty nice already. It's got the multifunction bezel, which is cool because you can have a timer here, traditionally, right, with count regular elapse, but you can also kind of do it reverse. And I think, as I guessed, I think they kind of confirmed that this could be used, this last 15 minutes could be marked as used as a kind of a small countdown bezel as well. And then you got hour counter, or you can of course use this as a second time zone. 12-hour format, but you just move it accordingly, and you could use it as kind of like a pseudo GMT, right? Versus this, yes, it still has 12 hours, but it's 12 hours, so equals 24. And I think that's pretty cool. It's very different. Nice black and white ceramic. And as you notice, and they've mentioned that they purposely made the split between the halves with more white being the daytime. Because generally you actually have more daytime than night. I guess it depends on where you are in the world, right? And what time of the year. But for most average people, I believe daytime is greater than the amount of nighttime. So that's why they did that. And I don't mind. Grand Seiko is one other brand that I can think of that they've done that on some of their GMTs. And pretty cool effect. I don't mind. Keeps it clean. Makes it easier to read instead of trying to divide and split the color right in the middle of the 6. Then I don't know, just trying to balance out that contrast will be kind of busy or messy. And we'll get into this one. It is a bidirectional bezel. It has some clicks. I'm not sure. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So it's 3 between, what is it, 24 markings? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so it's definitely not your traditional 24 or even 48 click bezel, because there's like 1, 2, 3, basically 3 clicks between markings. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, right. That's where it's centered. Well, it's not a big deal. I just like the sound and feel of it, and it does click into place all right. You still can get it to line up with, where it should be. Like, and this is where the dial differs from this. You can see how this track is on the outside. Besides, it doesn't have those lines leading to those 8 inner markers. We'll just have a look at them side by side real quick. So you can see how that point right here, they alternates. That's to show like the different hours. So the odds go in, the evens go out, and so forth. So, is that right? See, did I get that wrong? I guess it doesn't matter. It depends on how you see it. But it's just a quick little reference wherever the GMT hand, which is kind of unusual. It's a lollipop, which instead of a traditional arrow. So I like that they did that differently. But you see how it lines up with that would be 11 p.m. Let's move it here, right? And yeah, so they did that different. And they also moved the indexes, like these guys, in the cardinal points compared to this one. See how this one's going into the outer track, versus this one is pushed in more. And I think it's basically, maybe you can get a better read on the alternating kind of larger ticks, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because if this went out, it'd cover it. I don't know. I just think they wanted to be for you to be able to read those alternating longer ticks like that as the time goes by. What I was going to say real quickly, I don't want this to be too long. I think some people get confused when they first see this, because most people like traditional, like 50-50 GMT bezels, you expect one half color to represent, dark nighttime, and the other half to be daytime. And that's correct. But when they see this anti-meridian AM and post-meridian PM, and then you think about it, well, if this is AM, then if it's pointing, if the hour hand was pointing, or say this is pointing here, this wouldn't be 11 a.m., right? This is right now 11 p.m. And so over here, seems correct, because if the hours go by this way, if it's pointing at the 2, that would be 2 a.m. So basically, you just got to know the way you read it is kind of in one direction. So everything from this mark all the way to the next one, to the PM, that's all AM. Actually, AM does consist of dark hours and light hours. Same with PM, right? In the afternoon till evening, then it goes there. So this would be PM through this way. That's basically how you look and read this. Not that hard. Just got to get used to the crown being on the left side, because I may have had 1, maybe 2 watches in a long time ago that was destro, but for the most part, they've always been on traditional side, right? Either the 3 or maybe offset somewhere here. And even some I've had actually, but 2. But that was, again, something a long time ago. Comes off. And what I noticed is nice pop. And this would be, it's a very smooth wind. You can barely feel it, but you can kind of hear it, and do kind of feel the mechanics of it, but overall it's pretty smooth. The water resistance reduced slightly. This is 200 versus this guy is 300, but still, that's plenty. And then when you obviously, if you pull it to the next crown position, there is no date position to set, which might throw off some people, but for me, not a big deal. I like the cleaner look, asymmetrical, and I have plenty of watches with dates on it. And if I ever need to refer to a date, doesn't take that long to look at my phone. And my work day, my main job requires me to probably be aware of the date, because there's like notices or slips or whatever that I gotta write up and date. And as soon as I have to do that, I check my phone, and then once I, and I write it down, and once I know it, I'll know it for the rest of the day. So it's not a big deal. And this would advance the GMT hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So we just set it back to, it should be, it's pretty smooth. Oops, passed it. Try that again. 10, 11. There. And then you can, of course, hack the movement. And everything lines up pretty good. This is pointing straight to that marker and at the top of the hour. And it set the time. But I am going to clear this and get into the AM. I'll set this later. I just wanted to get this ready. So we'll just move it to 7 because it looks a little bit better than hex, and then just I guess it'd be the reverse, right? You screw it down this way towards you instead of away to lock it down. And it seems to catch just fine. And I believe the crown should be the same. So very quickly, I was basically debating whether I was holding off on this, and I kept. I think this is a cool, good looking watch, and so it stuck to my head, and I finally decided to pull the trigger. And because I figure there's plenty of differences on this. It's not just about the bezel, but the dial is different, and the indexes are kind of laid out differently, and you got a different seconds hand, and you got that unusual GMT lollipop hand. And just to add to the difference, and I would say this is a quirky design. In the quirky department, why not order it and have it done with the left-hand drive? So, and then that further differentiate this from this model. So, yeah, and I figure it's not on the same level, but much like Rolex, and there's a Mariner, they take a classic, good-looking design, diver, and then they expand, or rather branch it out to GMT, and it basically carries much of that design's DNA, but in the GMT format with the GMT hand and the bezel, and I believe the water resistance has been reduced on the GMT as well in the Rolex. I would say it's about 100 meters, if I'm not mistaken. So this also is reduced from 3 to 200, but still pretty good. And we'll do a comparison later, but I think that's about it. I want to try to keep this under 20 minutes. Nice brush finishing, very similar. At first glance, you think it looks like it has lyre or twisted lugs, much like this does, but it's just the way it's finished. It's actually pretty flat on top, but it does angle differently, and this gives that appearance. It's just different like that. It's not that thick too. I'll do measurements later. Comes in this leather strap. There is no other option, I don't believe. It's just basically that, and that's the other thing. I want to see if this bracelet will fit on here. I mean, I can tell you already that this one, looking at it, the lug profiles are a bit different, and I can tell the case, the way it's done underneath, also looks different too. Even the bezels aren't the same. This has a little bit more finer grip, coin edging, than the diver, the 5303. And you can see, kind of start to get an idea of the case back, how it kind of differs in the shape right under here a bit. You can kind of make that out. We'll get into that later. So I think very cool watch. Can't wait to give this a test run starting tonight through the weekend, and I'm pretty sure you'll see more things posted of this. So that's it. The new Serica GMT Chronometre, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, 8315. Right. Thanks.